teams and are your spring split champions.
3 rookies prove themselves worthy of the top 4 in the EU LCS. A double kill from Perch! This guy is a madman! He can do it! Oh, Memento! You beautiful man! Guess the Quadra! Gonna be a taster for Kobe!
It's time to find out who will rise. This is the EU LCS. In their first final ever, but they are up against the European Titans of Fnatic, the 6-time EU LCS and reigning champions. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the EU LCS Summer Split 2018 final. I am EpicSkillshot supporter and I am here with the man, the legend, Ibai.
Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estáis? Muchas gracias por venir. Y como ha dicho ella, estamos en las finales de la LCS europea. Vamos a ver a un Fnatic contra Schalke. Muchas gracias. No sé cómo reaccionar, lo siento. Entonces, pues aquí estamos, ¿no?
Oh, fantastic. Ibai, you deserve all the cheers. You are fantastic. This is, of course, the pre-show. In 30 minutes, we will have the opening ceremony. But I would like to thank you guys just from the bottom of my own heart. Quiero agradecer a todos que estáis aquí en el Palacio Vista Alegre y a aquellos que nos estáis viendo en toda España por todo el apoyo. No puedo esperar para ver las finales con vosotros. Muchas gracias.
Estamos aquí, para el que no lo sepa, ellos hacen un programa en el streaming inglés que se llama La Silla Caliente y como invitado tenemos hoy al fantástico, único e increíble Carlos Rodríguez Ocelote. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás?
So, we have a little thing on the English broadcast in Ready Check called The Hot Seat, which is now La Silla Caliente, in which we will fire some quick questions at Ocelot. Are you ready, Carlos? All right, so
muchas gracias.
So first up, Carlos, what do you want to say to the people here at the Palacio Vista Alegre?
I'll do it in Spanish, if that's okay.
Perfect.
No, se supone que esto es para acabar, pero bueno, voy a empezar así. Está claro que para mí sois la mejor fanbase del mundo, sois los mejores personas del mundo en cuanto a eventos se refiere. Gritáis un montón, lo pasáis de puta madre. Siendo fans de Schalke, de Fnatic, de Origen, de G2, da igual, sois los amos y os queremos mucho.
Bueno, para el que no lo sepa, esto en teoría son 3 preguntas picantes, ¿no? Es la silla caliente que ellos ya hacen en el streaming inglés. Y yo, Celote, la primera pregunta que te quería hacer era, ¿el dinero da la felicidad?
Sí, sí.
Pero tú, Ocelote, ¿tú tienes días tristes?
Tengo minutos tristes, luego se me pasa rápido.
So, just for people at home, these are supposed to be spicy questions. Ibai asked Ocelot if money makes him happy, and he said, well, not really.
No, I said
yes, you said
it
yes.
does, actually.
Oh, he said yes, excuse me.
I have
and then he followed up with, Ocelot, are you ever sad? And he said, no, I have some sad minutes, but I never stay sad for long. Wonderful. So, Ocelot, imagine, it is the world final. There is one European team left in the World Championship. They're playing the final. They are about to kill the Nexus and win the World Championship, but it's Fnatic. Will you cheer for them?
No, I can't. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't. This is like if you ask a Real Madrid director whether he will cheer for Barcelona playing the grand finals in Champions League. It's not going to happen.
I can respect that. Ibai, do you have another question?
Hablando del Real Madrid, ¿algún día el Real Madrid comprará G2?
No necesitamos su aprobación, ya que esto va a crecer igualmente. Y yo creo que la empresa ya tiene suficiente valor como para que no se justifique que se gasten. Pues imagínate los fans del Madrid, ¿no? Un tío de 40 años que ve fútbol desde siempre y dice, se han gastado 100 millones en videojuegos cuando se pueden comprar Mbappé. No lo creo que ocurra, así que es poco probable, no creo que ocurra.
I'm not exactly sure. It was about football and Mbappé and all that.
Mbappé, just keep that in mind. Mbappé.
All right. So then, finally, who is going to win the EU LCS final today? Schalke or Fnatic?
My brain says Fnatic 3-0, but you're going too fast, people. You're going too fast. But my heart says it's going to be a 3-0 for Schalke.
Ooh. Thank you so much, Carlos. Thank you for being here and for
You're
talking
the best,
to
people.
the fans.
I love you so much.
And for now, as we count down towards the final, it is time to honor one of the biggest stars in the EU LCS. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your EU LCS Summer Split MVP.
Madrid! I present to you your 2018 Summer Split Most Valuable Player! Caps, when that video started, I could see the emotion on your face. What does it mean to you to be the most valuable player in the EU LCS?
It means everything. I've always wanted to earn this award, and to finally get it over the likes of Reckless and all the other legends in EU is crazy.
Caps, 81% of everybody that voted, journalists, pro players, casters, put you as the #1 player, the MVP. This stadium is roaring for you. How important is that for you as a player?
It's crazy. We have always had a lot of fans as Fnatic, and to see so many Fnatic fans and Caps fans today, it's completely crazy. It's completely crazy.
Madrid MVP. Caps, what would you like to say to this audience ahead of your finals?
So I want to thank all of you. We already qualified for Worlds, so I hope today we can show a performance that you guys can be proud of at Worlds as well. And if you want to see Schalke get clapped, then I want to hear a clap.
I was going to ask one more question, but there's no ways I can follow that. Caps, ladies and gentlemen, Madrid, put your hands together for your 2018 EU LCS Summer MVP. Right now, we're going to carry on with the pre-show as we build up to finals.
And thank you very much, Trevor. We are here at the analyst desk. Come on over. I made it, and I'm glad that my analysts made it. I'm here with Christian Nifarsen, Jonas Colt Anderson, and Jacob Yamato Cannon Mebdi on the analyst desk. Guys, I have to say, being down there, this is, by the way, a scarf of the EU LCS finals in Madrid. Wonderful. That also will be going to the players, but up here it must have been crazy as well. The Spanish are so loud.
Oh my God, the stadium, even before we actually went live, we're out here hyping the crowd. They're losing their minds. Then when Caps enters the arena, it was just on a whole new level.
That was crazy.
I hope the people at home can feel it as well, because this has to be the craziest audience I've ever been to. It's so loud and so wild.
It was very, very cool. Also, eBay getting cheers, Spanish community doing a lot of work here. Fantastic. But now, let's start by getting into the action and recapping yesterday, where we saw Yamato and Vitality secure third place in this loud Palacio Vista Alegre, taking a big step towards Worlds as well. Yamato, you were very emotional right after the moment. How do you look back on everything now?
I feel, just thinking about that, I'm so emotionally exhausted, so I can't even process it anymore, because it was such a redemption story for us, because the last time we faced Splice in a big arena and we lost that third place decider, and this time around we took it home in a beautiful fashion.
And we need to highlight the guy on the screen here, Jisuke. He had an outstanding performance. And I think we saw a new Jisuke, maybe a little bit of spring split Jisuke back, especially on the LeBlanc. I think he had fantastic performance.
Yeah, I think you talked to him and we talked to him. He was probably very happy that he could kind of shake off thing that happened following him since last playoffs. He showed up.
For sure, like he was definitely not happy with his performance against Niski, and he had the point of view stream, a lot of things going on for him. So this was like a phoenix rising from the ashes and flopping his wing proudly as he did on stage. It was like he cried and I cried, because I knew how much it meant for him. It was
I have
very
a question
powerful.
for you. Last time I saw you cry, it was back in 2016 when you made Worlds.
I knew I made Worlds there too, man.
Okay.
Fnac's gonna win.
Okay. Well, just for the people who might not be completely clued in, with Vitality winning, this means that Schalke have to beat Fnatic today if they want to go to Worlds on first seed. They are unable to get there through championship points, so they would be playing the regional qualifiers if they lose today. And I think, Yamato, your players were pretty secure that Fnatic was going to win, but it's dangerous, man. You don't know.
Who knows? It's the same like Thanos, very strong, but there's one scenario where he loses, so.
Maybe this
Same
is
thing.
a scenario.
Spoiling the movies for me, man.
Come on, if you haven't seen it by now, good luck, you know.
If anything, Yamato will be a very happy man if Fnatic win today. That means both Fnatic and Vitality are in Worlds. There is another battle that is extremely important throughout the split we've been battling for. The superior analyst in our predictions. I am the people's champion. I rose up from the ashes to fight the color casters. I got the Vitality prediction right, and I am voting for Schalke today because I want to take down the Fisho.
And you know what? I believe you can do it, Shocks. I've got faith right here, but if you just get it right, you tie him. You have to get the actual series score right as well, and then you overtake him.
We'll
To
see.
me, it's way more important that yesterday the Fisher was wrong, I was right, you were right. That means way more to me.
I mean, I think even if he still wins, we can go back to that, and that's very important. Well, in any case, let's move on to the real reason why we were all here, the EU LCS summer final tonight between Fnatic and Schalke 04. Let's take a look. 16 minutes away from the opening ceremony. And I want to start by talking about Schalke and what a great achievement it is for them to get here. They're looking to crown their breakout split by winning the EU LCS. Now, of course, they had their first split back in summer 2016. They eventually got relegated to Challenger. They spent all 2017 in Challenger, but eventually in 2018 came back to the EU LCS with a plan.
Exactly. They came in with this roster that so many fans and analysts thought would actually be battling for the top of the EU LCS, but honestly, they disappointed. They didn't live up to those same expectations. But coming into summer, that's when they brought in the veteran shot caller Amazing to turn it all around.
And I still remember when Schalke came into the league. For me, as a guy who grew up playing football, I thought it was so cool that they were actually willing to invest into esports and into EU LCS. And they didn't give up, and I think that is really what impressed me, and I'm so glad they're here in the final.
I think the main thing is that they really applied football principles. In football, it's not that things go fast and you have one season and you replace your players. That doesn't exist in football. They had this ups and downs, and now they're up here because they really, really invested into this idea of investing into players and into structure, and it worked out great for them.
Absolutely. This could be their crowning achievement. And again, wonderful story. They did knock out Vitality, unfortunately, for you guys in the semifinals, but they are a wonderful finalist. And again, to repeat, they have to win here today if they want to lift that trophy, which you want to do no matter what. And if you want to go to Worlds as Europe's first seed.
You absolutely do. And I think the most impressive thing from Schalke in those semifinals was that they actually adapted and matched the fast-paced early game style from Vitality, because we thought they were going to be stalling out to late, but they proved everyone wrong and now come in as a very strong challenger for Fnatic.
Yeah, Yamato, what surprised us very much as analysts is the fact that they were able to switch up their style and prepare so much for your specific style. Is that something that you think is a great achievement by them and will help them today?
I think they made some great adaptations. I think the pulling in the Skarner was great. I think a lot of the jungle picks they prepared for Jizuke was something that impressed me the most. They had a very deep champion pool, and they prepared for our roaming style that we prepared to play into them. And I think that was the biggest swing for them, Nuktak's champion pool. And at the same time, we played very over-eager, and they were very good at punishing our mistakes. And I think that's what made them take it home.
I mean, Cold, I think this is one of the reasons why, even though Fnatic is definitely the favorite, we're looking at this match as one in which Schalke has definite chances that they could look at to win.
I mean, we look at the improvement from the quarterfinal to the semifinal. If they can keep improving until the final today and maybe raise the level even higher, I think they have a chance. But they, in my opinion, they need to get to that higher level if they want to challenge Fnatic.
They need to put it all on the line today, and one very special player on the Rift, Amazing, makes his third EU LCS final appearance today as he looks for a standout achievement in what has been an eventful career.
High stays on the fountain, the quadra kill once again, and Team Solo Mid are the 2015 Spring Split champions.
In Europe, as a semi-finalist in the World Championship, as Origin win 3-1.
Double kill now for Amazing. This is just rampage. The Winnians will take it.
I declined insane amount of offers 2016 just to join Origin again. But I trust Origin, they screw up. Then I trust Fnatic. They put my career in the hands of Nico the Pico. This guy decided basically that I was not going to play anymore.
Big news! The jungle, they have made a change. Amazing X is still on the roster, but they have decided to swap in Broxa from Challenger.
I didn't feel human anymore because every emotion I felt, was basically just negated by the fact that everything went wrong.
The new Mysterious Monkeys lineup stepping up on stage with Amazing and Kiki as well. They hope to make a strong impression.
This is it for the Mysterious Monkeys as they're on the verge of losing their spots in the European LCS. NIP are gonna be the victors today. The Mysterious Monkeys bow out.
Hello everybody, I'm Trevor Quickshot, joined at the cast stage for the first time by Maurice Amazing Stuckenschneider. Dude, welcome to the desk.
Thank you, I'm pretty nervous though. When I was a caster and I saw people play, I was jealous of them being on stage, being in front of a crowd. I played 8 to 10 hours of solo queue every day. I played so much just to stay on my level, I just know that I don't want to be on the other side anymore, where I watch people play, I want to be the one playing.
The man joining Schalke 04 as their newest jungler has reached the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. Maurice Amazing Stuckenschneider. He's now returning to the LCS to reclaim some of that former glory.
I'm really proud of my team, every one of them has had their issues. No one really feels that they have to do anything more than just being a team player. And I think Schalke is the right team for me right now.
He dug down, but Amazing's on the Nexus. 8-1 in their last 9 games, taking their spot, tied with G2.
For the first time ever, Schalke 04 are in the finals.
Winning finals will mean everything to me. It confirms the amount of work I've put in. It's the third time I'm going to be in the USCS finals, and I actually want to have that sense of pride coming in and actually win for once. Where I can point at Mithy and Sven and just tell them, I won EU and an A before you, Being in front of a crowd, especially in the finals, is just such a happy feeling. Everyone's cheering for you or the enemy team, but in the end, it doesn't matter. Everyone enjoys League of Legends. And I think that's what it's about.
Wow, absolutely fantastic. We've talked about the amazing story a bit already, but the fact that he finds himself, after so many ups and downs, back in a final is one of the most inspirational and aspirational stories of a pro player that I have ever heard.
I love the fact that he speaks about the grind, because back in spring when we were on the analysis with him, I actually talked with him about what is it that makes it as a player. When do you feel like it's rewarding to play day in and day out? It's when you go on the stage and you have a crowd that cheers for you. It still gives me a little bit of emotional when I went there. You know, it is really what makes it and breaks it for a player, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I've publicly said that I don't like him, but I would be damned if I'd said that I don't respect him. He's been around the block for a long time where people didn't believe in him. He crawled himself back up to finals time and time again. He's had a longevity that not a lot of players say they have, and I think anyone on the scene can respect him.
After you have done what Amazing has done so far, you have to respect the man and you have to look at him today on stage. But it'll be an incredibly tough challenge for Schalke and for Amazing because they face off against a team that has dominated the EU LCS in 2018, Fnatic. And 2018 was really the new era of Fnatic. In 2015, we actually had the final right here where they won. They were very successful that whole year. But after that, it was all G2. So far in 2018, they have reigned supreme.
Exactly. Fnatic returned in spring, and once they sort of figured out their identity of using their two superstars in Caps and Reckless as a combined carry threat, they were basically unbeatable in spring.
I mean, and while in spring it was the Reckless show, he was the superior ADC in the region. I think in summer we have to point towards Caps. He has been so outstanding this split, and I think for once Fnatic actually found a way to enable him in the game and play around him.
This was in Copenhagen when they lifted the trophy. They were back, and they weren't going to stop there. However, when it came to summer, it was very interesting. There was this new meta. Reckless decided to bench himself, and all of a sudden, Fnatic had to make do with Bwipo, and then in the end with a 6-man roster.
Yeah, and I think that Caps was the big story because he came out of MSI as the best mid laner at that international tournament with some big names, proved himself, really came back in EU, continued to dominate out of the mid lane. And it was just all around a fantastic performance.
It was crazy. And then in summer, as said, Reckless off the Rift. And Yamato, what do you think of the fact that they played without Reckless for a long time and they decided to go all in on Caps?
I think in this case, you know, in the past, Fnatic was so one-dimensional. It was Reckless carrying and Caps kind of fending for his own. I think the biggest revolution for me was when they realized that they can play through mid lane. And I think ever since, Caps has been enabled to play and also at the same time through mid lane support the player that is Reckless down bottom.
And now it makes it incredibly difficult for anyone going up against Fnatic because Reckless started in the semifinals and his AD carries are also back in the meta. So they have returned to a 2-threat team, but I would say it's probably going to be Caps first, Reckless second.
I mean, it speaks for itself when 81% of pros and analysts and media alike vote for Caps to be the MVP. This man has done it all. He makes plays, he sets them up himself on picks like the Zoe. He plays all these crazy different champions. It feels like 2015 Faker where he can lock in anything and still crush everyone else.
2015 Faker, eh?
That's some big words, but I think it's fair to do the comparison because right now Caps, he just literally picks whatever the hell he wants. And somehow it works. We saw him on the Wukong, we saw him on the Vayne in the semi-final, and I think that's the scary part for me.
I think at the same time, you have to give a lot of credit around the players that are around Caps. I think the biggest revolution for me, like Caps was always an amazing player. 1v1, he was respected by every single mid laner. That was never anything new. But right now, Hylissang and Broxah, the way they play around him is something that is unheard of.
And arguably, those are also all the players we're looking at to perform today and to get that second title for Fnatic. Now, a big part of Fnatic's success has been their team director, Youngbuck. Let's see what he has to say before today's final.
Thank you very much. I'm joined here by Fnatic's team director, Youngbuck. First of all, congratulations on making another final. Before we talk about the final, I want to talk about you just a little bit. You're the only undefeated coach and now team director when it comes to EU LCS finals. What is it about your leadership style and the impact that you bring to the team that allows you to win so many titles?
I think first and foremost, I've always had a really good team atmosphere with the players, both in G2 and in Fnatic. There's a lot of laughter and playing around, which I think is really good for long term.
Well, that's definitely showing true. Obviously, the move to Fnatic, there were some questions. Will it work? Will it be successful? You are. Now you have to defend the title. How is it different defending a Fnatic title versus winning it in spring?
Well, I think the biggest difference is that you don't want to lose something. And, you know, I've always been building towards making history for myself and my teams. But right now, I feel like it's more about defending that honor instead of actually trying to gain more.
I really like that, making history. I think as a coach, when you eventually step back, there's definitely some history to be made in your own name. You've joined an organization with a huge amount of history. Could they win the 7th title today? I know your answer is going to be yes. How do you have to stop Schalke to make it number 7?
I think the most important thing is that we control the early game. They are a very slow-paced team, which we really love to play against. So if things don't go too crazy and we just play very slow, then we'll be really happy.
Well, I'm very happy to hear that. Thank you so much for the insight. Congratulations for making final, and I hope it's a good series. Back to you at the desk.
Wonderful there from Youngbook, saying that it is really hard to defend that title. He also says we'll be happy if we play slow. That's not something I've heard that often from Fnatic. What do you guys
They're
think?
happy playing against the teams that go slow because they like to go hard and heavy.
That's what I was going to say. That's what they always do. And some people that always do that are in the mid lane. And we want to look at some key matchups, and that's the one we want to look at. We started talking about Caps before, but now he is up versus Nukeduck. And I think when you talk about Caps and everything he's achieved and how good he's been, we also need to give credit to Nukeduck. This is a guy that has been around forever and is back at the top.
Exactly. I think his experience and his versatility, his ability to play almost anything in the mid lane is going to be so key for him in this match. This is not a guy that'll be phased by a Vayne mid or a Wukong mid by Caps. He's prepared and he's ready to take him on.
And he was always known for his intelligence in-game and his ability to play side lanes better than most mid laners, and I think that will be really crucial in today's match.
I think having worked with Nukeduck for so many years, I know him very well as a player. The main thing for Nukeduck is if he's ahead and he's playing a champion that he can take control over the game, he can shot call for everyone. That is the Lemon Dogs Nukeduck, and that is also the Schalke Nukeduck we're seeing this split around.
And that is where a lot is going to come down to today. But the other matchup we need to talk about is in the bottom lane. The AD carries. Upset versus Reckless. I am incredibly hyped about this matchup. Reckless is the guy that has so much pedigree, has so much history, has won everything there is to win in Europe. But he's up versus the guy who may very well take over the reins. What do you guys think?
That's the thing. These two players are so evenly matched, but I actually give Upset the advantage in late game team fights. Look, this guy had the highest damage per minute out of any player in any role in the EU LCS regular season. He also had the third highest DPM of all time in the EU LCS just last week. And his aggressive yet calculated style is the way he's able to maximize his DPS, and that'll be the difference maker here today.
I think when it comes to playing Ezreal, Upset, amazing. I think it's crazy that I gave him Ezreal 2 games. I think when you're playing Ezreal and you're playing to his maximum potential, you're gonna put up the numbers that analysts love. But when it comes down to the grind, the late game team fights, we cannot forget the history of Reckless in games like this.
And no matter what happens with Reckless, he always shows up in the final. And I think we cannot take it away. It's the first final for Upset as well, so we will see how it goes on the Rift.
Yeah, there will be a lot to do for Schalke. They will have to fight incredibly hard, and a lot is going to have to come from Upset as well. So let me see your keys to victory. The underdogs, honestly, Schalke. How do they lift the trophy today?
Right, I've got my vote on Schalke, and I say that they need to protect Nukeduck early on. Because if you remember the last two times these teams faced off, Nukeduck got destroyed by the roams of Broxah and Hylissang. They need to stop that from happening, and then enable Upset in team fights. So you need to draft a Kai'Sa or an Ezreal for him, and then build compositions that can go heavy 5v5 late in the game.
Now we're looking at Fnatic, same thing. How do they keep their title?
I think it's going to be key in the mid lane, and I think counter-picking for Caps is going to be crucial. We see what he can do when he gets on, for example, LeBlanc in a counter matchup. He can really take over a game. And I think Youngboy touched on it in the interview. You need to control their aggression in the early game. And I think we have seen a Fnatic that has struggled actually to figure out when to take good fights, especially in the early game. They like to be over-eager, and I think a lot of it comes down to Bipo and Hylissang sometimes taking too many fights when they don't have to, and I think that's going to be crucial.
Well, it is an incredibly momentous occasion here. We have a new finalist, again, in the EU LCS versus the powerhouse of Fnatic. As we are 1 minute away, let's look at the predictions. I'm voting for Schalke. I think they're going to have to fight damn hard, but there is a chance. And you know why I'm voting for them.
Hey, you know, they're going 5 games, but I said it, it's Upset who will be the difference maker late on in these games.
Whoa. I have to go with Fnatic today because I think it's going to be mid lane focused, and if there's something Fnatic has shown in this summer split is that they are exceptional at playing around mid lane.
I think, you know, we can reference the story of David versus Goliath, but that story is fiction. Right now, Schalke is walking on stage, they only have a slingshot. I think Fnatic is going to destroy them.
Yamato says Fnatic is going to destroy Schalke. It is all up to Schalke 04 and Fnatic. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the moment we've all been waiting for as we count down towards the EU LCS Summer Final, live from Palacio Vista Alegre.